I started content marketing almost 2 years ago based on the recommendation from several articles, podcasts, and videos that I was watching at the time. This was my response to the question of how do I get more leads to new business? Almost everything I was consuming at this time had one piece of advice in common when it came to content marketing, and that is it won't make a difference tomorrow, but it will over a couple years if done consistently. At first that idea scared me off because it seemed like a really long time to wait for results and a lot of work. But after trying a bunch of gimmicky short-term solutions for growing a business, I decided to give it a try. And well, after 2 years of developing content, mostly written blog posts, I'm going to share everything from my strategy to the results in this episode of The Zwelly Show. It all started in September of 2015. I remember listening to Sean McCabe from SeanWest.com talk about some of the results that he was seeing by developing content marketing, or developing content every single week. He did weekly articles and podcasts, and he was absolutely crushing it. He constantly gave all that credit to his content marketing. So my background is in video and animation. The thought of creating a video or animation every single week was honestly just out of the question for me at the time. So to get my feet wet, I decided to write monthly articles. The problem is that I never considered myself a writer of any sort. I read quite a bit, but the idea of writing never came to my mind. At this point, it had been about 6 years since college, the last time I really sat down and wrote anything. Even then, I would have been pretty proud to get a B on anything I wrote. When I sat down and I started to write my first post, I kept thinking that nobody was going to want to hear what I have to say. I didn't have any hot takes on trendy new topics or new research that could go viral. I kept writing articles and then deleting them because I knew that other people could say the same things, but better than me. After all, this kind of content existed in other places already, and that's where I learned it in the first place. It wasn't until I stopped caring so much about the actual content and started thinking more about a topic that I actually cared about, and things started to change for me a bit at that point. I started writing about something that really mattered, and that was something that I felt that people didn't talk enough about, which was the idea that story is the most important element in all communication. From there, I simply kept writing about things that I cared deeply about, and it became easier and easier over time. My writing wasn't that great, and to tell you the truth, I still don't feel like it's that great. But one of the keys for me to start feeling confident was to create and share content that I was actually learning about at that exact same time. Maybe I wasn't experienced enough in a certain topic to write about it at first, but the idea of publishing something for the whole world to see made sure I did enough research before hitting the submit button. And by doing that one thing, writing actually helped me understand things that I was learning at a much deeper level. Even today, if I have a question about something, I start by writing what I know first, then researching the things that I don't to fill in the gaps. Before I started content marketing, I was seeing an average of 152 monthly visitors, 15 clicks through search engines, an average time spent on site of 157. This was the average for the first 21 months of Zwelly's existence. In September 2015, I officially started content marketing with monthly written posts. Over the course of 6 months, I saw an average of 177 monthly visitors, 47 clicks through search engines, and an average time on site of 302. I want to put an asterisk by that duration though, because it does seem to be a bit of an anomaly with the rest of this chart. You'll see what I mean here in a few seconds. So you'll see by simply writing 6 posts over 6 months, I increased every stat category, but most notably, search engine clicks increased by a gigantic 213%. In April 2016, I started writing 2 posts per month. The average monthly visitors increased to 280, search clicks jumped 58, and the time on site went to 220. Like I mentioned, the 302 from before seems strange to me, so we're going to leave that out. Once I started seeing the results on both the site and in my business, I decided to write a post every single week starting in January 2017. The results were pretty incredible. I saw an increase to 383 monthly visitors, 124 search engine clicks, and an increase in the time on site to 226. So by writing weekly, I saw visits increase 36% and search engine clicks increase by another 113%. Almost 2 months ago, I started doing weekly videos with written posts, like the one that you're watching right now. While it's still a small sample size, I've seen monthly visits increase to about 450. Search engine clicks are up to 137, and the time spent on site increased 80% to about 4 minutes and 24 seconds. So over the course of 2 years, content marketing has given me a boost in all these stat categories by quite a bit. Visits increased by 196%, search engine clicks by 800%, and time spent on site to 125%. Content marketing is tough, especially the time it takes away from other parts of running a business. But once you get into a rhythm, it starts to work out pretty well. I spend an average of about 5 hours per week writing, shooting, and editing every single video. That might seem like a lot, but if you replace that time, the time that most people spend cold calling, it actually takes up less of my time and has a greater impact on my business for a much longer period of time. If you're debating about doing content marketing, my best advice is to start now. Don't try to be perfect either. Gary Vaynerchuk has a saying that quality is subjective. So do what you can and don't focus so much on being the best. Just focus on getting better than yourself from the previous week, and you'll start seeing the results that you are looking for. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to this channel. Check in next Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time for the next episode of The Zwelly Show. Thanks.